All right, Jacob, dude, good to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, a lot to talk about, and I'm honestly glad that we got you on. We talked to you a little bit earlier in the season during Cross, so a lot has kind of transpired since then, and obviously covering Blythewood the whole season. I get to see you run pretty much every week, so it's honestly been really cool. but um, but yeah, so for most people who obviously just know you as this elite runner in South Carolina. What don't we know about you? What are some hobbies? What are some interests that you like?
So, you know how I was at the Diamond Hornets Invitational, and I wasn't there. I was entered, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was at the All-State chorus. Like some of the kids know I'm a huge choir kid. I absolutely love singing. Like I do my school's theater shows. At my school, I'm kind of like I don't know. Some people know me as the runner, but most of my friends like they enjoy singing with me. So it's where yeah.
Yeah, I saw I've seen a couple things on Instagram. Like you were in was it the Little Mermaid? Was that the one that you guys put on? Yeah, you were the bird, right? Or the bird? Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Yes. That's awesome. No, that's so cool, man. That's so cool. And that actually tells like a lot about your personality too, because so many kids out there, shoot, even adults would be like, "There's no way I'm getting on stage and doing anything like that." So it's like really, it's really cool. Have you been acting like for a while now, or was that
Longer
just
than
like
I've been
a
running because I
yeah?
started running because my mom did it and I was like, shoot, I'll try it in eighth grade. But like I've been singing since sixth grade because I followed my sister's footsteps and she's really, really good. So
Okay, well there you go. Shoot, have so was that your first like musical, or you've done other musicals before?
I did I've done it before. Like in high school, my freshman year, we did Charlie Brown and I was Charlie Brown. And that's why I think I
No
had
way.
subpar results. I did subpar results that year because I was so busy acting.
Oh my gosh,
This year
you were
I
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, this year I backed off a little bit, and it was more chill. And like sophomore year, I didn't even do it at all because I didn't have schedule space. Because Blythewood really likes to screw you over when it comes to
Oh
scheduling.
man.
Like I'm a senior. I'm going to be taking like seven classes. It's terrible.
Wow. Jeez, man. Well, that's cool. Charlie Brown, dude. That's like the star of the show.
It was an interesting show.
Do you ever
I
have
mean,
like performances where you're like, oh my god, that was terrible, but it was so much fun? Or is like every show just like perfect or what?
I prepared really hard for Scuttle. That's the name of the bird. And so I was really happy like with the audience reaction. Like sometimes you do get disappointed when you say something that you think is gonna be funny and you hear absolutely nothing from the audience. But
Oh
most of the
nah.
time, it's just really rewarding getting on stage and knowing that you did a good job.
Yeah, no, I bet. That's pretty cool, man. Honestly, I feel like again, like maybe aside from like your friends at Blythewood, most people wouldn't know that about you. And there were only I
Yeah,
barely knew that about you. I found that out recently. I was like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, like this is freaking awesome, dude. He's
yeah.
awesome. But yeah, man. So let's get into. I really want to get into Cross 24 to start off. Um, so you were a really consistent 16-minute runner in 2023, and then this season just bam, under 16, six times in 24. How do you think you were able to be so consistent under 15 every week?
Uh, my secret sauce. I have a spin bike in my garage.
Oh, really,
Also,
really?
me and Spencer. Well, actually, yeah. I mean, I post about it. Uh, I also I went to the Y and did ellipticals and I swam with Spencer Sheely. You don't know him. We trained a lot that summer. I think I trained a little too much. I was averaging 10:30 a week hours. I think it was just too much. And so I cut that down, you're gonna see over the winter. But it was definitely just it was the consistency. And it was really because that track season before, I was coming off a quad strain. That's why you see I ran 9:27, and then the time slowly gets slower because my quad was just worsening and worsening. And I decided I'm going to run through it. I'm going to get to state. I'm not going to get last, and I didn't. And that was kind of the whole goal of the season, just to get through it. And so I came with like a newfound determination and a newfound appreciation for my health, and that's what really guided me to that. like the 15:29, and then what would have been a PR at Fort Jackson if I didn't fall.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to get out to Jackson for the qualifiers, which was a bummer. But yeah, what happened there?
It was me and Daniel, this guy from River Bluff. We were running together, and he was in front of me, and I was trying to catch him, and then there was this divot in the ground, and I felt like I stepped on ice. My foot I hit the ground, and I was like, well, I got to get up, and so I got up, and I got across the finish line, but then I saw the finishing time. I was like, oh, that was 2 seconds off my PR. I could have gotten a PR.
Yeah, Jackson ran really fast this year. I was surprised. There's a lot of guys that ran really quick times, and for that course, I'm like, because I was a drill sergeant there at one point, and I just know it as like there's the hill, there's some good downhill, there's some good flat, but it seems like such a mentally like compressed course. Like it doesn't feel very large until I guess you really like run across the parade field. It's like it is pretty long straightaways. Um, now running that consistent 15 minutes in cross, did that give you a lot of confidence going into track season?
I mean, track season is its own beast. I feel like I have to keep racing and to know I'm confident. Like I'm going to MBNO in 2 weeks. That's kind of scary. I raced the 2 miles in 2 weeks, and I raced the 5K in 13 days. I haven't raced in a while, so I don't know how I'm gonna do. Because like I've been running recently, and it's been feeling really bad. But like I've been on vacation, so the air's really humid, I guess.
Yeah, and that's
And
one thing too. We're gonna talk about a little bit later. It's just that like I'll bring it up later, but it really is like that long duration track season. It's curious. So on the cross side, let's stick with 24s still. Do you have like a favorite course that you race at? A lot of people say like eye opener. None. No, you don't like eye opener.
that one was just that's very stressful. It's a huge race, first race of the season. I don't know where I'm at, and so I just get thrown into like with the wolves. I'm not a huge fan of eye opener because like the last 2 years I've been racing not the one that's not the international, the championship, the one that's small. And this year I got thrown into the big race, and it was just a lot. Like I was like what 60th the first mile, and I had to work my way up to ninth. I think I got like it was just really bad. But
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, no, go.
I think I mean I would pick Newberry as my favorite course if you changed it back to the way it was before they redid it. Because I really liked it before. It was fast. They made it slower. I swear.
Yeah, I noticed. Especially for the state meet, it ran really slow. Um, I don't know how it was really before. I mean, it seems like a pretty decent course as far as like you don't have to get out too hard. I mean, kind of, but it does have that turn at the right, and then it kind of like narrows down quite a bit. But eye opener, I would say, is just I only like eye opener because the start. The start is super wide downhill. You have plenty of time to kind of get out, but the only thing is it's terrible for spectators.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. You can't see anything on the course. You can only really see somebody like one
Hmm.
time.
I do like Fort Jackson though in that regard. I also like the hill isn't that bad. Like it's kind of draining, but Fort Jackson's a good PR course.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Sands the other day over at Malden, and she said the same thing. Like just the amount of people one you can kind of put in there too. Just the course itself is pretty maneuverable. So yeah, I can see that as well. Now, the importance of cross country into track. Do you see uh, any kind of benefits from running cross country into track?
Most of it's probably mental, just with the usually in track people will try and get out. Actually, it's in reverse. People in cross country will go out really fast for some reason, and then in track they'll stay more conservative. And I think that conservative mindset to try and hit consistent splits, like for instance, All American this year, I ran a 9:16. I went through 70s for 7 laps and then split a 66. Like that's just that cross country mindset of just keeping it consistent rolling.
Yeah, that's actually a really good take. I've never, out of the decade of running, I've actually never heard somebody explain it that way. But that is so true. In cross, everybody's so quick to get out the gate, and then in track, it's like it's super conservative. It's definitely more tactical, almost in a way, in a weird way. So when it comes to training up for obviously cross has so many different courses. You're not on a solid flat ground the whole time like track. Do you have any favorite workouts that you guys like to do?
For cross,
Yeah.
don't remember them explicitly, but if I like look up my Strava, it's probably going to end up being like 2K repeats, 2K tempos, a lot of one time we did do like a 3 mile and it was just like 18 minutes, just like a nice chill 3 mile to get into it. And then we did a 3 mile Prague, 3 by mile, and it was like 5:20. And then we hit like a 5:15. And then I went 4:59. And that was all on grass. Like
Yeah.
we did a lot of grass work for track too, because our coach says it strengthens our feet. Like we never do, we do track work maybe once a week and then grass work twice a week or early season. By the end of the season, we're just doing speed work. But yeah, like a lot of that is just it's a lot of just the miles and stuff and the tempos. We have a K loop back behind our school. We used to do 10K tempos in past years. When they told us it was too hot, we just hide in the woods and he'd make us run 10K tempos.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that is I mean that's kind of a norm of doing, really working on the grass. I haven't really heard workouts on the grass during track season before, but it makes sense. I mean, it definitely makes sense. Um so coming out of Cross 24, what do you think were some like what was your overall thought process of how the whole season played out? I mean, I get states probably wasn't the way you planned it out, but it seemed very tactical. It seemed very again, it ran slow, so I'm assuming it was really conservative. Like, was that the mindset going in, or did you have a game plan, or just sit with them, sit with the leaders, or how'd that all go?
My game plan was to win or medal, and my body gave out. Like I would just, and that happened again this track season. It was the hardest race I think I've ever run, was this 3200 this track season. It was so hard. It was so difficult. I mean, I think it's just how I've been tapering is the problem. I think I'm going to fix that coming up, but I'm going to test something out with nationals. You might see in my mileage, but we'll just it didn't play out how I wanted to, and coming out of it mentally, I thought I didn't go as fast as I wanted to, and it's just time to go for track because I think I enjoy track a little more. I think it's a little bit easier to get the times I want.
Now, do you think Newberry could ever run like fast times, or do you think that course just will kind of always be a more tactical, slower kind of race?
With how it is, yes. If they change it back to how it was when I was a freshman, no, because I ran my PR, my eighth grade and freshman year there at the state qualifiers.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. And then so it kind of goes back to, obviously the team got second. That's huge. Overall, like, what would you say the team wise, like how the season went?
Spencer getting injured was not ideal, but him coming back for state was just like Dr. Ross, the guy that makes all our graphics for the Instagram. He said, "I can't wait to watch that on Netflix someday." Like Spencer just coming back from an injury to help us win states, and I mean, we had, I think our cross country team, I think it's 17, 18 people total, like JV, everything. Our slowest guy runs a 23. And then I think there's like one other person that's not sub 20, and then everyone else is sub 20 on that cross country team. And I think that's just the most top heavy team. One of the most top heavy teams in like the Southeast, I think. Like just with how small we are. I think it's just crazy. But
Yeah. No, go.
I was thinking about the question you actually asked me.
No, you're good.
The team takeaway was that just we worked as a unit. We really did. We fed off each other, and we were getting faster. Like even if I didn't PR beyond September, everyone else is getting consistently better throughout the entire season.
Yeah, you brought up Spencer. That was a tough loss. I definitely was like, because I was curious too, like what was going on, and he was missing a few meets, and I was like, dang. But when he came back for states, I was like, oh, like here you guys go, like making a run for it. But even that, like I said, like runner up is nothing to nothing to not celebrate. It was great. Curious though, and I noticed this around the whole state of like, it didn't seem like many guys and gals did any postseason meets. Like nobody went to Foot Locker. Well, some went to Foot Locker, but not a lot. Not a lot went to Foot Locker. Not a lot went to NXR. Was there a reason like you didn't want to attempt one of those?
After getting seventh at state, I was just burnt out. I just That wasn't. I mean, I didn't want to run Wendy's again. That was Foot Locker.
Yeah,
I didn't want to have to go down to Huntsville just for it to be muddy like Spencer ran his sophomore year, and I don't think it was. But and then I don't think I made an XR. I don't feel like I want to go to nationals. I definitely don't want to go to a regional. And the Nike courses aren't known for being what XR is it? Wake Med, right?
yeah.
Oh, well then
I mean,
I
it's a
don't
fast
know.
course.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll try Dashboard Doobie
Yeah, yeah.
this coming year. We'll see.
Yeah. It's curious too in Huntsville. Like running lane literally came out like during COVID, and like everybody started going there, and it's produced. I mean, you look at what just happened the like last weekend or 2 weeks ago. Some of the times out of there are just insane. So they're really putting on a great event now. Track season 25. So 416 for this. No, 421 for the 1600 meters. 911 for the 2 mile. Yeah, that 421. We're gonna talk about that. What are you just not a miler, or you feel like you didn't have like the race, or you weren't put into the perfect race to produce a time? Because the 911 definitely seems like, all right, you should be able to split like 415 or under easily.
My coach didn't put me in the races. The couple I ran the 1600 I think twice. I ran the full mile at the Capital Relays, but I didn't have the competition for that. Then we had the Coaches Classic Regional. I raced against Jack Wilcox. That race got delayed or something because I mean he ended up running what 414 in the 1 mile. He ran 428. I ran 423, so that was just not the race. And then came back for regionals, and I was racing against Caleb Burrows. I was very confident, and then it was 90 degrees, and we went out in 67, and I was like, what can I do? And then state
Yeah.
qualifiers, there was no clock. Uh, that race went out tactically, and I was saving for the 3200 so I could still make state in that. And so I just never had the right situation to PR.
Now, was that a kind of a game plan from the beginning of the season as like, hey, the main focus is going to be the 32 because that's your best shot? Like, do you feel more comfortable running the 16 versus or the 32 versus the 16 or the 8?
Definitely more comfortable running the 32. The 16 was definitely going to be a backup event. I was kind of banking on that region race against Caleb to get me a big PR, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, Caleb had a crazy year. I think he went under 150 for the 8 and like
149.
4. Yeah, it was like one, or it was like 4 like 04 or 405 for the mile. Yeah, he really opened up because I remember him racing you in the cross regional. And yeah, I mean, and what the heck happened with that? I'm like, oh, there goes
Closer.
Jacob.
My dad
Because
was like,
you closed on him, and I was like, oh, you got this. And then you
yeah.
opened it up on the track, and then what was it? You just
My
couldn't
dad
hang
was
on.
like, you got 4 seconds. And then I was like, and then 250 to go. I hear he's on you, go. And I'm like, huh? And then I turn around expecting to see like Brendan or something because I was like, oh, Caleb
Yeah,
died. And then like he just comes around on me, and then I'm still pushing myself as hard as I can, and then my body just gives out because I'm not splitting a 13-second last 100. I'm sorry.
yeah, that was insane. Now, does that do anything to your confidence at all, or you're just like, because that was the second time I'm gonna get you on this one. That's the second time you got beat like right at the line. That was close because you lost to
Summit.
it was Summit. Yeah, or like, is that just something that gets you, or like, nah, like, hey, these are two good runners, they just got me that day?
Summit made me mad because it's Summit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I love him, but he's my friend.
Yeah,
But Caleb seems more like he's on a different level. Because then right after Coach Kelly, Anna Kelly's dad, told me, uh, this guy he he medaled at state in the javelin, which I had no idea he did javelin. And well,
yeah, I
he
didn't
won
know
his
that
state
either. That was
he won his
crazy.
state championship this year. And he told me
Yeah,
that guy won the 8, won the 16, and medaled in the javelin in 4A states last year. And I was like, he did javelin. Okay, this dude's just an athlete. I can't.
yeah, that was crazy. I noticed that too. I can't remember where I saw it, but yeah, javelin. I was like, what the heck? Um, Summit. That race was interesting because if you go back and watch it, um, he legit was in like 30th place towards the 1 mile. Like he was way back. I don't know
I don't know
what
if I
he
wanna.
did.
I
Go
don't
back
know
and
if I
watch
want
it.
to I don't know if I want to leak his secret. He told me you should try consistent splitting a race. That's what we're doing. He consistent splits his race,
So, but he's
his CrossFit.
yeah, but that whole team is interesting too because if you go and like, I mean, I'm a guru. I literally go back in here and I look at all results and like some of the I think Koa is interesting in itself too because he'll have a really good race and then you won't see that level of production for a minute and then he'll have a really good race again. So it's like there's some ups and downs. I'd love to
I
pick their
think that.
brains too, but
I think that's just training. I think me training 55 miles a week. You take a look at Luke, who beat me for the state championship. He trains more than me, and so I think that level of consistency and improvement just comes with more and more mileage and training. And I think if you train less, you're going to have less consistent production, which like our girls track team works their butts off and they have very consistent results. Even if they're sprinters, they're still working their butts off consistently. And the boys team too, although they're less consistent.
so going from cross into track, did you have any specific goals that you wanted to run in track this year?
I
Like time wise? I mean, obviously states is like the pinnacle of trying to win a title, but time wise, was there anything on your mindset?
I wanted a sub 910 because I figured that would be the D1 ticket. Junior year sub 910 is kind of the, but with the 16 time, well, the 16 time could be an appeal in a case to make them think, oh, this guy's going to be a 5K, 10K guy. But uh, like just the sub 910 seemed like the D1 ticket, and well, with what I've heard, it's not anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting, and we're gonna continue to dive into this. Um, but the level of competition in just high school right now is astronomical. Like I remember watching like if you look at like Arcadia in California, that 3200 out there, it's like known for breaking nine. And I remember seeing maybe like 15 guys break nine in high school, like watching that. And now it's like there's like two heats of 30 guys that'll break nine, and it's just another level. Um, do you think any of your performances in cross helped you in track, or is it really just like the mental aspect of it all?
It was just me working for, it was just the work for track that did track. I think every season is kind of its own benefit. I changed my methodology just because I feel like it. Like this past year, I think every weekend for like 2 months, I did 11 miles at 6:35 per mile, and I think that just like that's just one of the components of my training, just in the consistency that allowed me to you know get those times.
Now, second in the 32 at states, did you have a game plan going in to that? I know it was kind of maybe not ideal weather conditions, but yeah, what was your kind of game plan going into that? Sit and wait, or
Just run the race until you died, and well,
yeah?
I did that. I probably shouldn't have led looking back, but if I hadn't led, things could have gone much differently and I could have been lower. So I'm very glad with what I did. I'm happy with my performance. I did about the best I could.
Yeah, no, that was it was good, and then kind of going back, like again, I feel like states is honestly becoming a little, um, I don't want to say not as important, but I feel like a lot of people are paying attention to like the bigger meets, like All American and Carolina Distance Carnival, like those type of meets where, like, just the production of results is just astronomical. Like, what are your thoughts on some of those key meets that are just like they're just breeding fast times. Like they're just geared up for it.
I think those are becoming more and more commonplace. I think everyone's trying to get in on the piece of the pie of hosting those meets, like Spring Valley with All American. They've been hosting that for years, and then Weddington's now getting in on this, and I think a lot of every meet is trying to become the next big meet. Like I think Blazer Twilight is trying to become a big meet, like at Ridgeview, and just every meet wants to be that fast times.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to a it was a meet. It was just the mile. It was the full mile, but they had like 30 heats of the mile, and it was like it just brings people together to want to accomplish something. And you see that. Like I never saw that in high school. And then you come up here to North Carolina, South Carolina, I'm like, "Whoa." Like it's cool. It's a really cool concept. It's just it seems different. It seems like more people are kind of going after those bigger meets. Do you have any favorite track workouts? I know you mentioned like you kind of do the same, or like you're on the grass, or it seems like it'd be kind of the same, essentially workouts. But is there anything that kind of rings to mind?
I mean, after all state choir, I did 10 by 400 at like 69 with a 400 at 90 seconds in between them. And that was pretty cool. I mean, yeah.
Do you like the longer workouts, or like do you like short like do you like shorter stuff like that? I mean, 400's still kind of long, but are you into like more 200s, 400s versus like eights and mile repeats tempos?
No, give me threshold because like I can do form work. Like I think my last workout before state was just stay consistent form work, and it was like a 61 400, and then it was like 427 200s, and that was all. I do the stuff hurts. I do appreciate like a good threshold workout where it's just like 2K threshold and it's or some tempo work. Like I do like that. Like we did a 5K
Yeah.
tempo near the end of the season, and it was a 16:45, and I was like, great, that was easy. I mean, I went out and like I closed my last 3K in like 9:30 or something. So
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm the other way. Like give me a I mean, tempos are not bad, but I don't know. Something about like 1,000 meter repeats or something just or even fours. Clocking off four is just like every single split um has always kind of like rung a bell with me. So cross 25, obviously that's what we're gearing up for. Um what are some of the things that you're trying to kind of work on that maybe you've made? I think you can honestly learn a lot from each season. So whether it be like some mistakes you've done, or I know you mentioned like some of the training is going to be a little bit different. What are some of those things that you're working on in preparation for this season?
I think I need to work harder. I just think I haven't been getting consistently enough of my easy runs. I think a lot of our stuff is broken up, and I think I just need to go consistent and long, like I've been doing with these 8 and 9 mile easy runs recently. And I just think I need to get more volume just for my senior season. Like I've been going 55 miles a week. Okay, it's time to make that 65.
Yeah, obviously, consistency is going to be probably probably one of the biggest things for anybody, especially into the summertime. That is where that's where a state champion is made in the summertime. I'm super positive on that one. Um, Now I want to hit on a question, and let me know if you want to go into it at all. But so you lose Spencer, right, and you lose Eureka. Okay, that's two of your top five guys. But you, like you mentioned before, and I've looked, like you have a really solid team. Like it's not like you're falling off the map or anything. Your fifth guy, Matthew, he's going to become your fifth. He ran 17:34 last year, um, which is not bad. I mean, you train in the summer, like bam, you're gonna run 16s. Now here's the thing, though, right? Your 4 through 7, from what I've seen on online official results, they did not run in track. So do you see
Matthew,
it? Yep,
Matthew plays lacrosse. Emerson, I think he was in our. No, Sean just quit.
there you go.
This is just he's a senior. He was on his way out anyway. Let me see. Who was Austin injured again? I think he was 6 or something. Uh, was let me take who was the state qualifier team again? I know
I
AJ
know.
ran track. AJ ran 950. EJ ran 950. That's Eureka. Spencer, me, Dylan did run track. He just does wrestling, so he doesn't condition, and then he spends the entire summer in Florida. So our
Do you?
team is just
But here's the thing: like you guys are the reigning runner ups. So like there is that level of like target on your back. And then you see
yeah.
that, like, do you have any concern of that? Or is like, hey, this is just normal. Like the guys kind of go their own ways and then we come back and we just rock it in training.
I'm just gonna constantly text Dylan to run because I just he's he's gonna need some assistance. I don't know. I don't even know if Matthew Geddes is running cross country. We need him. I'm gonna reach out to all the soccer players. Come out to conditioning, please. We just we need anyone we can get to cobble together for one more year, and then it'll be good luck for AJ because
There you go.
he.
So let me tell you this. I got a quick story here. It was my junior year, and we had a pretty solid team, and it was pretty solidified. We all ran through the summer. We had a kid named Dylan Taylor. He was a skateboarder. He likes cycling, but he wanted to come out. He wanted to come out for the team. And this was like, I don't want to say it was close. It was still close to the beginning of the season, but it was getting towards like midway. And the team got invited to do a race. And it was the race of champions. Uh, and that race we could run 10 instead of 7 varsity guys. So coach put him in because he's still pretty, like he seemed pretty solid in practice. He comes up and I was kind of like the number 2 guy. Sometimes I would be able to squeak number 1. And we got to, I would say, 400 meters left. And all you see is Dylan go right past me. And I'm like, what in the world happened there? And then he almost catches our number 1 guy. Thankfully, the number 1 guy just beat him a little bit. He's like, I'm not ever going to let him beat me. But where I'm going with that is you never know who's going to turn up. You never know who's going to randomly pop in, who's going to move into Blythewood. And they may just surprise you. And Dylan surprised us. We ended up getting 4th as a team that year and played, honestly, a really big role. I will tell you this, though. My son is running cross country this year. And I would be shocked if he's not on varsity. I would be shocked. So there's one guy that you got, hopefully you can help mentor and bring him up, and you guys can have a pretty solid team.
Right.
So individual goals for cross. Anything that you want to share right now, or is it kind of keeping under the low?
I mean, like, there's always that 14:59 on Fort Jackson,
Yeah.
but that's kind of far-fetched. We'll have to see. I'm really focused. I focus more on goals for track, like time goals. Like, obviously, there's that 8:59 in mind for track, maybe an 8:55. We'll just have to see. I mean, cross, it's really more just like win the race.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to Chapel Martin the other day, and he said kind of something similar too. It was like, but we were talking, it was like, honestly, the difference between like 15 flat and 14:59. And I love how you mentioned like 14:59. It's like, it's such a difference. There's such a like, just a different level of like aura in a way.
Yeah,
But
especially when it's, never mind. I was gonna say, especially when it's like on like a course like Newberry or Fort Jackson, because like some courses, like the Greenville County course, are they're really fast, and some courses are just like not as fast. And so if you can do that kind of stuff, like Jake Liebert did on any course, then well, that's just different, man.
do you have any course? I know that you mentioned that like Greenville one. Is there any courses that you just absolutely hate with a passion?
Well, Greenville is just fast, and I don't hate it. I just hate that I don't get to run it.
Yeah.
Like, it's fast and it's got so much competition. Like, I think I could have run 15:15 there last year, at least.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
uh, and then there's some other Warrior in 2022 just made me very angry. But they've since fixed it, so I'm fine with it. I'm not a huge fan of Lake Murray. I think it gets too cluttered. I have fallen there. I fell there like 2 years in a row, and I had to work my way up through like a pack. And then uh, Mike Moore, it's fine. It's just controversial. I'd rather not run it. I'd rather run Wake Med because like
Why?
it's probably people
Why?
just
Why?
say that
Yeah. Go for it. Say it.
people just say that it's not like long enough. But I would have beat the PR. I would have beat the PR I had on it anyway if I hadn't fallen at Fort Jackson. So now my PR is in this course that people don't like, and I'm like,
There you go. Yes, that is true. Now I will tell you this. I don't think I've ever heard. I don't know if I've heard it was like short. And I actually like the guys over there who host it. I was the Irma, I think they hosted it. I just had a problem with it being all road. Like it's a cross country meet. What are we doing hosting it at? You're doing a road race, a glorified road race. That I don't understand. But that's funny that you mentioned that too, because yeah, there are some like fast times out of there, and you're like, I would hate for my PR to be there, my PR to be there. So now I guess kind of looking at some things here, postseason races, New Year. Do you have like? Are we going to see you at Foot Locker possibly? Like, is that going to be now on the radar or NXN or? Because I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but like now again, kind of being senior season, or you're just going to wait and see how things play out.
you never know because injuries and stuff, and just anything could happen. And I probably would want to go to running lane first of all, just because that's like the nationals, and like people really like running lane, so I'll try it out. You know,
Yeah. And then any college visits you've been going on, or are you trying to run in college, or like what's the story on that?
I am. I need to reach back out. There's a couple that have reached out to me. I'm probably going to go on my first official visit soon. Maybe it's been the correspondence is very slow on my part. I'm not very good at talking to people, and I think
Oh,
that's
I
a
think you're doing a
problem.
great job.
But it's just like emails. I'm bad at checking my email.
Oh no,
I
you're
need
good,
to
man.
I need to get the texting out. I need to text one of the coaches that I emailed him, but it's kind of the summer, so I should probably text him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And honestly, it seems like a lot of that stuff kind of picks up too towards the fall, as far as like college and what's going on there. But obviously, we're gonna be looking forward to it. I want to see where your future kind of holds and goes. But yeah, man, I honestly just kind of wrap it up. I appreciate you coming on, and well, obviously, I'm gonna be at pretty much almost every single one of your meets this year, so we'll have to catch up during there. And yeah, man, I'd love to have you back on. Hopefully, towards the beginning of the school year.
All right, thank you.
All right, man, take care.
All right, peace.